We always have conversations, myself and the National Commissioner, when it comes to these interventions, including the resources that are required to support these interventions. When it comes to the PKTT, the request for funding would come to us and we will have those conversations. When it comes to the PKTT, I have had conversations with the National Commissioner to say, my understanding is that a task team is established for a specific period, for a specific reason, and then it is withdrawn. But with the PKTT, we have noted that it is clearly dealing with something that is permanent. So for us, from a budgeting point of view, it becomes challenging when you receive applications almost every 3 months for 5 years. So you are unable to budget properly, you are unable to project properly. It may be necessary that perhaps this becomes a permanent structure to deal with the permanent problem that seemingly exists that they are dealing with. So we have had those conversations. It was my understanding that this particular team was established to deal with the problems in KwaZulu-Natal. I've even made suggestions to say, let us task OD, the OD is our organizational development, to put together a permanent structure, and we give this structure to General Mkhwanazi in KwaZulu-Natal to deal with this permanent problem. Because
hello, honorable members of the clan. So I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware at all because you guys, you already know that I am not a person that watches mainstream media anymore. So y'all were just pumping up my inbox, my email. Like, Clancis, have you heard the president? Have you heard the president? I'm like, president of what? Of who? Of where? You're like, Cyril Ramaphosa. I'm like, oh, what has he said now? Well, he called a press conference to make an announcement. So I was like, okay, what's the announcement? And suddenly I'm seeing names. Dimpani. Is it Dimpani? I think it's Dimpani. And I'm like, Dimpani? Who's Dimpani? But it sounds a little bit familiar to my ears. And I'm like, okay, hold up. Let me watch the presser or the announcement, and then I'll get back to you. And of course, everybody was satisfied with the answer. And now I'm here. So the president decided to call a family meeting to make an announcement. What did the announcement involve? Yes, it involved the South African Police Service. So he gave a generic speech about how the South African Police Service has lost faith, or the people of South Africa have lost faith in the South African Police Service. And I'm like, duh, where have you been? And how that needs to be restored. And in order for this to be restored, he had to call a commission of inquiry that is led by Mbuyiseni Madlanga. This is Justice Madlanga. And the commission of inquiry is ongoing. And now there are casualties. So these casualties, of course, one of them being the National Police Commissioner, Fanny Masemola. Fanny Masemola, as you guys already know, he got charged with some PMFA charges because of the 360 million rand that went to an alleged criminal. Yeah, Ket Maklala. So the act was not followed to the T. And Fanny Masemola being the accounting officer, so things kind of like flew over his head and did not consider PMFA. Am I calling it correctly? I'm dyslexic, guys, so it's an excuse for me. So and then as a result of that, you and I have had this conversation before. We've had this conversation actually last week where I said, oh, now that Fanny Masemola is facing criminal charges, obviously he can no longer be the National Police Commissioner. And I remember very well that I made that video on Friday, this past Friday, and he was to appear in court on Tuesday, the 21st. And I said, there's no way that we will have a National Police Commissioner that is appearing in court and still a police commissioner. And I thought he would have tendered his letter either to us to be suspended or of resignation as the National Police Commissioner. Of course, that did not transpire. So yes, fast forward to this past Tuesday, the 21st of April, 2026. My throat, guys, my throat is strained. And so he appeared in court, of course, and he will be, this does not sit well with me, alongside Kat Matlala. But then I get it. We'll talk about that separately some other time. So he appeared, and of course, this does force either Fanny Masemula or the President of the Republic of South Africa to either fire him or suspend him. So now come to today, the 23rd of April 2026, and the President Cyril Ramaphosa calls a press conference and he makes an announcement that he has decided to place the National Police Commissioner, Fanny Masemula, on precautionary suspension. You know, these suspensions have so many names. They have so many names, but he's suspended. And pending him clearing his name with this 360 million rand that was awarded to Kat Matlala when he was not supposed to have gotten this particular tender. And then he touched on the procurement. Why didn't you just say BEE? Because this is the reason why we are here. The evil policy that does not cover what it's supposed to have covered. And secondly, of course, tenders going to the wrong people that are not qualified to be getting these tenders. And the South African Police Service found itself deep in it and giving tenders, some for kickbacks with the very same people that work for the South African Police Service. We've seen some of the police officers and top brass of the South African Police Service at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, the likes of Deputy National Police Commissioner Shadrack Sibia with detection. Basically, he's in charge of detectives and investigations, and that's why dockets ended up allegedly at his office. And then we have a second deputy police commissioner. I forgot the name. Who was the name? Then we have this one now, who I'm going to also announce, since the president announced. And if you remember correctly, remember when we did not know, I think this was either that other week, which I think it's other week, when we were saying, but who is going to be appointed the acting police commissioner, national police commissioner, if Masemula is suspended or fired? And I remember very vividly saying there was a lady that impressed me, both at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry as well as Parliament. That is why the name Dimpani rang a bell. I'm like, wait a minute, is that her? Because I said, if it's non-Tlatlam Kwanazi to be escalated, that time Tlatlam Kwanazi had not yet renewed his contract as the provincial provincial commissioner of KwaZulu-Natal. And I said, I doubt that Tlatlam Kwanazi is going to take the National Police Commission job. I don't think he's interested in that. But there's this lady that impressed me. And yeah. And I said, I would rather go with her. But then I said, I personally have a police commissioner. And I said, Rivo Spies. But Rivo Spies is part of the Metro Police. So he's under South African Police Service, not part of... well, I still think he would have done a great job, Rivo Spies, as acting National Police Commissioner. But I am not mad at all that it is the Lieutenant General Bulang Dimpani. I'm not mad at all. This lady was so impressive, and I thought to myself, these are the type of people that South Africa doesn't like. Professional, honest, and wants to see the betterment of the South African Police Service. Will she ever escalate? So the president announces her as the acting police commissioner now that Fani Masemula is on precautionary suspension. I was like, oh, I'm happy. I'm very, very happy. And when you look at the combination that is now formed at the national level, Dimpo, the head, General Nhlankam Kwanazi doing the organized crime national task team thingamajig, perfect. Perfect. I'm not complaining at all, guys. I am not complaining at all. But let's get to know who Bulang Dimpani is. So I kind of had to have a... Okay, how do people do that? Like, seamlessly. They will just do like, and then it's already... I still have to learn. Okay. All right. Even though it's a little milky. What's happening? I think my lenses are dirty. But anyways, let's learn who this acting National Police Commissioner by the name of Dimpani. Bulang Dimpani. I know I'm probably mispronouncing her. Okay, now, had to look up. Lieutenant General Bulang Dimpani is the Chief Financial Officer. Yes, she did come to the Matlanga Commission of Inquiry and testified. I was gobsmacked and very, very impressed by her. CFO of the South African Police Service, holding the position since late 2018, early 2019. A veteran with experience in internal auditing and finance. She has testified regarding SAP's financial controls, irregular expenditure, and contract management, including a 360 million rand contract, while distancing herself from operational tender awards. And that's why I was like, ma'am, I believe everything that you said at the Matlanga Commission of Inquiry. And you even did say that the person that is responsible and accountable for this 360 million rand is the National Police Commissioner, Fani Masemula. And I don't think you said that because you don't like the police commissioner, or you took side, or you're part of a cabal. You did it because that's what PMFA says. That's why I was like, okay, she's fearless. So basically, that's who she is. And if you want to know more about her as a CFO, she managed the South African Financial and Administrative Services for SAPS. Her background, she joined SAPS in 2007 as Senior Superintendent Colonel in Internal Audit, previously served as Major General and Deputy Provincial Commissioner for Asset Management in the Free State. Her education background, she holds a bachelor's degree in commerce and honors degree in business administration. Stance on accountability highlighted a culture within SAPS where internal disciplinary actions for irregular expenditure are insufficient, advocating for stronger accountability. This lady doesn't play games when it comes to accountability, and I think she is going to be demonstrating that exactly in her new position as the National Police Commissioner. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I was impressed by her. I'm impressed by her, and congratulations to her. And I'm sure that if it comes to leadership, in case you guys did not know, I am very, very, very much pro-women. Very much pro-women. You know why I'm pro-women? Because I was raised by a single mother, and I did explain this before. And I said, if you gave a woman presidency, just give her presidency. Fagma Luzobon. Well, not that bribe her, but you will see what she will do. Now, I believe this position will allow her to empathize more with the people of South Africa. Gender-based violence, toodle-doo to you. If you know that you are a man with a loose hand, she's going to deal with you. And now there are other things, of course, that we are concerned about, like illegal foreigners. We don't know what her stance are. Well, the president says that she and the acting police minister, they are going to call a presser of their own, and then they are going to give us their strategy and other pointers how they are going to fight crime. And I'm hoping that illegal foreigners will be tabled in that particular presser that we are going to hear. I suspect it's going to happen on Sunday. I think so, on Sunday. I will be keeping my ears and eyes on the ground for you so that I come back and we talk about it. It was quite interesting during questions and answers how the president was avoiding to answer the case of Mkhunu as somebody that is on what leave is called again? What's that leave called? You see what I mean? These fancy names. Just say, anyways, please put it in a comment section. I forgot what it's called. And now we're having acting. Everybody is acting. But the question is, do we trust the people that are acting? I say Dimpani is the one that I trust. Everyone else, I don't think so. But Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, I trust. And I think both Dimpani as well as Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi working together in fighting crime in this country, I think we are going to be served and protected. But again, yeah, that is what I brought for you from the emails that I was getting, and everybody wants to know, hey, what are your thoughts about Dimpani? And I did see some people not happy in the emails, and I was like, but I asked questions like, why would you be unhappy with somebody you don't even know, you've never given a chance, and she's never took a leadership role like this one? So let's give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's put well, I'm not saying trust her, but I'm just asking you to put your benefit of the doubt on her. Sooner or later, time will tell whether she's pro-South Africans or she's pro-politicians. We'll see. We'll definitely see. Yeah, congratulations, Miss Bulang Dimpani. May God be with you. And please serve us and protect us. We will highly appreciate that. Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is already showing it, and I'm sure you can climb on that bandwagon as well. Anyways, I don't know. What are your thoughts? I would like to hear in the comment section. What are your thoughts about the new appointment? What do you think about Fanny Masemula? I have a conspiracy theory, but it's not for this video because I do not want to. Yeah, I want to congratulate our new National Police Commissioner. Is she the first woman? I know she's acting, but is it the first woman National Police Commissioner we've had? Anyways, guys, let me leave the video right here. The rain is making a lot of noise and I'm not even hearing my own thoughts anymore. But we'll talk a little later. Thank you, everybody, for sending me emails asking about this particular issue. I had no idea. I was busy doing my own things. And thank you. Anyways, I'll see you later. Goodbye.